stands for political, economic, social, and cultural. And what that is sort of a framework to help you think of various types of arguments that you could use in your analysis and lateral thinking, right? So, in the case of should people be allowed to die by euthanasia, an example of a political argument would be that the impact it would have on the political process would be very polarizing. It's such a huge issue that the split would deviate from other issues and cause parties to be divided on this one issue solely. So other issues would sort of be trivialized. Now, I should note that, by the way, this isn't an example of an argument that I necessarily agree with. All of these arguments are just examples that have been used before in this particular debate. An economic argument is that we should allow people to die by assisted suicide, by euthanasia, because if they are living care homes for 20, 30 years, as it can be for certain long term illnesses, or even just for 1 or 2 years for shorter term illnesses, then the impact that it can have on the economic impact it can have is huge, especially in a country like England, where the NHS, a government funded and indirectly thus taxpayer funded service, is the one that provides the care for them. Indirectly, it takes thousands of millions and millions of pounds out of the economy by trying to keep up care for people who actually would wish to die themselves. The social aspect is, do we really want to allow people to die? It causes a lot of pain, and you really have to think quite carefully about the question of whether it is appropriate to allow people to die when they want. For example, if somebody wants to die on a particular day, should we just let them die? Is that something we should do? And that leads to a complicated ethical discussion, which could go down a very slippery slope. A cultural example, with the cultural example, actually, my top tip is to think of sort of religious arguments, because culture and religion are very closely intertwined. Now, religion isn't the end to culture. Culture also depends on, for example, ethnic values, national values, but religion is quite an easy starting point. And in this case, the religious arguments are aplenty. For example, it is against many religions to allow people to die of their own volition. And that's an important factor to take into account. For example, the UK is fundamentally a Christian country, and it would go against Christian values. So one has to ask, is that something we want? On the other hand, in secular countries like a lot of former British colonies, like India and Singapore, which are not religious countries but are secular countries, would the religious argument still hold as much sway? So those are the kind of factors that you want to be thinking of to really display evidence of your analysis and lateral thinking and prove that you have the potential and the capability to think independently and interestingly